Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Deepak Ballani. He is DG at ISMA. Mr. Ballani, hi, thank you so much for joining us, and good news clearly coming our way as we see those reports from the ministry telling us that 18% of blending, ethanol blending is what was achieved in the month of December, the highest of course, and it does look like that we are on target for that 20% blending clearly.
Yeah, hello Manisha ji. Correctly said. I think it's very encouraging that we have been able to achieve 18% blending. And having said that, I believe overall average target of this year of 18% is definitely a done deal. And going forward in 25-26, as the target is 20%, and we are certainly sure, given the fact that the crop is going to be next year, the crop is going to be very good. So we are certain that in 25-26, we will achieve 20% blending, much ahead of its earlier target, which we were supposed to achieve by 2030. So I think it has a very good push by the government, very conducive and policy-driven initiative by the government has helped the OMCs and the producers to achieve 20% target. I think it's wonderful.
Mr. Ballani, what the industry clearly doesn't like is the fact that even as you've been waiting and asking and requesting and pushing for ethanol price revision, and that hasn't come through yet.
Yeah, see, as rightly said, for last 2 years, there has been no revision of the or correction of the ethanol price vis-a-vis the FRP increase. But having said that, I think government is completely aware of the situation. They are also aware of the fact that the mills are facing various issues because of non-correction of prices, specifically in the cane payments to the farmers. But I believe it will happen sooner or later. And we are expected anytime the announcement of correction of the prices of the ethanol will be made from sugar feedstock. And we are very hopeful that this could come anytime soon.
We've been hearing it for some time, though, Mr. Ballani. It's yet to come. So until you get it, you don't know it. But, you know, what the industry was asking were bigger numbers in sense of revision. What we hear via, I mean, there's been a lot of conversation, clearly. Those numbers really are not so great. As you said, the mills are facing problems. You would look at a revision, which is coming after 2 years. But is the quantum that is being discussed, is that enough, really? All right, we're going to try and get Mr. Ballani back yet again. There was a technical glitch there. But as Mr. Ballani said, this is something that the industry has been was asking in the previous season as well. And this is a second straight season. And we don't have a announcement when it comes to ethanol price revision. So that is something that the industry clearly has been seeking on. Industry also has been asking, remember, on the MSP, that is a minimum selling price in cents of sugar. And there is a lot of hope when it comes from this budget, when it comes to sugar as an industry. There has been GST as an issue. Now that 18% is done, the cumulative is still lower at around 16.5 or so. But the expectation that this could, the 20% blending that is, could be reached way ahead is something that clearly has been positive. But then there is life beyond 20% as well. And we do understand that there is a committee that already has been formed, that once 20% blending happens, what is it that the market will look forward to? And Mr. Ballani, once 20% is done, what is it that the industry is waiting for? We understand there's a committee being formed for this.
So there is a committee, interministerial committee, which is preparing a roadmap for E20 and beyond. And they have already met various stakeholders, including ISMA. And we have proposed various measures which could be taken. Specifically, we have requested that the base blending may be kept at 20%. And we should have the launch of Flexi fuel and hybrid EVs in India, where E100 fuel could be taken, specifically E100 hydrous vehicle. So I believe if that mandate is clear in the roadmap, this will increase our average blending to almost 25% by 2030, which will, in a way, increase the requirement of ethanol. And I believe we will require additional capacities. We also requested government to come out with various schemes, including the interest subvention scheme, so that additional capacities for ethanol could be introduced in India.
Mr. Ballani, I also want to understand the quantum of ethanol price rise or price revision that we are anticipating. Will the quantum that is being discussed right now for rupee plus, will that help your margins?
See, I believe historically, if you see, the entire ethanol administrative mechanism, which was followed by the government for almost 5 years, had a relation with FRP. And there was a specific percentage of FRP in the ethanol price. So whatever I'm hearing, it may not be at that level which we had proposed as per the formula. But having said that, that at least anything today, since we have been waiting for last 2 years, would be good for the industry, as it would help us to clear the cane payments timely. But having said that, I think government must look at going back to the formula which it once had. And because it is basically also attributing the right price of sacrificing sugar into ethanol. So I believe balance is required, and it is, I think, highly recommended that we at least go back to the formula which government has been using for last 5 years or 6 years.
All right, Mr. Ballani, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us today to discuss the view ahead for the industry as a whole and the budget expectations as well. Manisha, thank you for joining in. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Halftime Report. Business Lunch takes you through the next half hour. Thank you so much for watching.